his work ethic was outstanding. I thought he made big improvements from the day he arrived to the day the season ended. There was a lot of things that were just a lot of the stuff with Kyle and me and Dan was just touching on preparation. The level of preparation at that level at AAA, when you're now catching guys that are big league pitchers, more so the guys you're catching expect that level of preparation.
I mean, you talked a little bit earlier how you did work with the catchers, and we talked about that a few times throughout the course of the season. We posted on it through X and Twitter or whatever people want to call it. I guess just from your perspective, right? So you got to see Kyle Teel in front of your eyes, spring training, the breakout game. Then you got to physically have him in Worcester. What was just your thoughts from him when you first got him with Worcester to the end of the season? How did he kind of really transform? Because my opinion, again, this is just, I don't got the baseball, knowledge like you do, but one of the big things was just, he really kind of settled into the clubhouse, because he was very, to me, he seemed very apprehensive.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk to really anybody when it came to media wise. I think we kind of broke his shell a little bit, but just overall, as a player, what was your biggest takeaways for Kyle Teel?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think any time a player's coming up to a new place, especially Kyle's young, I mean, he's 22 or 21 or 22 and just in his first full season, and all these guys come up together, but it's a different level. And they know that too. They know I'm about to walk into a locker room with a bunch of dudes that have played in the big leagues before. So you're kind of in a lot of ways, yeah, Kyle's a first rounder, right? And Marcelo, all that, they get that. But at the same time, when you get to, you're the king dog, right? And AA, whatever. And then you get to AAA, and there's a lot of dudes in there that were high round picks. And there's a lot of dudes in there that have had a hell of a lot of success. So you kind of, you kind of lay low in the weeds there for a while and feel your way out and make sure you're in the trust of your teammates before. And that's probably what you're describing, Chris, him getting comfortable in there. But his work ethic was outstanding. I thought he made big improvements from the day he arrived to the day the season ended. There was a lot of things that were just a lot of the stuff with Kyle and me and Dan was just touching on preparation. The level of preparation at that level at AAA, when you're now catching guys that are big league pitchers, more so the guys you're catching expect that level of preparation because they were in the big leagues and they prepare a certain way there. And we try to carry that down. So him understanding the level of preparation it takes, the knowledge of your pitchers, that you have to know them inside and out. When you see them running in from the bullpen, you should know right away, here's how we pitch to righties with him. Here's how we pitch to lefties with him. You got to know that stuff, boom, just like that. What's his go-to pitch when you're trying to kill count, when you're trying to put somebody away, righty, all that stuff, I think was eye-opening for Kyle to know, that's the big stuff. The biggest things we worked on with him on a daily basis is that stuff. Make sure you know this stuff inside and out and educate yourself. Obviously, you guys saw us down there. We worked on the physical aspects of the position, his move on receiving and holding the ground or holding an angle or different things that he and I worked on. That stuff went great too. He made some changes, easy, small changes. And from the time he arrived, where it was a little rough at first to the end, big improvements we saw in his receiving metrics. So, a lot of stuff was just him, getting his feet wet and understanding what this level is all about and all the little nuances to it and how much they matter. And I definitely agree with you. I saw that too. By the end, by September, he was fully settled in. I think that's why you saw the performance tick too. He didn't swing the bat great when he first got there, but when you're carrying the load of that, you're trying to hit all the things I just described to you on knowing your pitchers. You don't know any of them personally. You've never caught them. It's a heavy load. It's getting promoted to AAA is a big deal. Getting promoted to AAA as a catcher is a huge deal. It's way more he's dealing with than Christian or Roman was dealing with because of the demands of the position. So I believe what you saw in September and how he started to swing the bat, and then all of a sudden he started to catch a little bit better, was him kind of settling into his environment and understanding after a couple weeks, okay, I see what's being asked of me here. And Trace and Dan have laid out a nice blueprint of what I need to get done, and he got used to it.
The challenge system too, he was really impressive with.
Yeah,
it almost seemed like every time he challenged, it was a W on you. It was very rare that he lost a challenge.
Yeah.
It was something that it just seemed like it was kind of just seamless moving up to AAA.
I hope he listens to this though. There was one, I gotta get him. There was one offensively that he challenged. It might quite possibly the worst challenge I've ever seen in the 2-year existence of however long we've been doing it. And it made his teammates wore him out about it. It was like, something he thought was up, and the thing was, it couldn't have been more center cut right down the middle. So we teased him and said, stick to challenging behind the plate, because he was exceptional behind the plate. When he was catching, he knew the zone, and there was times he would do it. I'm like, no, and then that would be a strike. He's got an idea of the zone really quick. But if he's listening, that one, I think it was early September, offensively was as bad as I've seen.